Brannos from Middle King a long time, about 35 to 40 years. Spend a tremendous amount of time. My favorite thing nowadays is teaching, and I hope that that's proof that all of this is proof that it's very important. And what it's done for me is it's brought me to a place where I can dive into smaller bits and then help people hopefully recognize those things that we are doing that is very much like other sports. This actually is not only like other sports, but it's like music. It's like dance. All right. And you'll probably hear me talk about it that way. This is a place. Rhythm is done in many things. One is rhythm in music, right? You can create with rhythm, you can create beautiful things. If you're out of rhythm, or you're just sitting there pounding in the same rhythm all the time, it can get very boring or very bad. That same thing can happen here. If I'm just constant, same rhythm all the time, drone-like, in my movement, right? In my sword or weapon work, in my breathing. We're going to talk about rhythm and breathing. Then what happens is people can figure out what you're doing, or in some cases, you won't even know what you're doing. Rhythm also helps essentially move you from one place to another, relax your body and mind, and we're going to practice that a good bit today. This is going to be a very interactive class today. I will tell you right now, we did a wonderful episode a couple of weeks ago on rhythm at Coach's Corner. You can find that on our YouTube page. But today, rhythm is very much about the field. We can talk about rhythm in music and we can explain it, but boy, until you do it, you don't get to appreciate it. So today we're going to do a lot of movement stuff. Sivert's going to kind of pop in and out and move the camera around, so don't mind him. But I will tell you, this is a brand new concept. The episode was good, but we're going to dive into how we use it inside of our game. I haven't actually put a lot of drills to that, so we're going to add some drills to it. We're going to add some concepts to it, and I'll tell you how I use it. Okay? So, first piece is, anybody ever watch boxing? Right? Anybody boxing, kickboxing, MMA, any of those other sports? You'll find that most people in those sports, they're always moving. You know, they're moving. They're moving. There's a rhythm to movement, right? In dance, there's a specific rhythm. You can see inside of the agility work we do, it's very much like dance, but there's a rhythm in this dance, and there's timing inside the rhythm that can develop throws. There's timing inside rhythm that can allow you to breathe, and timing for your breath. If we don't have that rhythm, then we don't breathe in the right times. Maybe we don't throw in the right times. So, believe it or not, you're probably using rhythm right now. In fact, most people are. The problem is that we don't talk about it, we don't practice it, we don't understand it. If you don't understand it, if I'm here and I'm like, I'm moving this way, and if I mean to throw this out this way, that's fine. But if I'm moving this way and I'm doing something that's out of rhythm, then you have to fix it, right? So, especially with breath. Because like a singer, if you can't find the places in the song, I can't find places in my fight rhythm, then you fail, right? We get tired, lose our voice, right? We lose the air for our voice. All of that's going on. So today we're going to work on that. What you're going to find is a lot of people lose rhythm because tension. It's very hard to have a rhythm when you're like trying to play a piano while you're tense, right? You have to learn to relax. So today we're going to kind of go through that. Again, feedback after would be great. Questions all the time. The good part, we got traveling camera, so questions will be, as long as you're next to me, we can hear that question. And really like to make this one an interactive class. Everybody kind of gets a feel what comes out of this. All right, so first person I'm going to pull up, coming up. And then we're going to do a drill right after this. So, here's the best part. You're standing there, ready? So right there, right? So you notice right now, I'm just walking and he's adjusting to my rhythm. So the best part is if you could pull somebody into your rhythm, who's leading, right? That would be me. All right. We're going to fight over rhythm. Now, if I just keep doing this, right? Now he's like, he can time my rhythm and then possibly take advantage because he figured out the rhythm. So we have to be careful on how long something runs. You feel that from your opponent. So you're going to want points where you break the rhythm and do stuff. Maybe break the tempo and speed of the rhythm, how fast or slow you're going. That will allow you to make sure that your opponent doesn't know what you're doing. But if go ahead and move a little bit, right? There he is. He's moving. Good. Now throw a shot. Right. Look how comfortable. He's just flowing in those motions. Now watch. Stand still. Throw a shot. You see, there's a ton of preparedness that happened before he could throw that shot. But when you're moving, right, and when you relax, again, move and relax and then throw a shot. There you go. All of a sudden, those shots become easier. So that's why that movement, be careful at grounding really hard. Because then you have to, especially if you add tension, then you actually have to release tension to move into the next position. So be really, yes, exactly. So in fighting, this is what I'll do to a lot of it. Like, hey, I know he can't do anything until he releases that tension. I got microseconds there to do whatever I want. A lot of times it's just breathe. That's perfect time. I want to breathe or fight. Shit. I'm breathing. In fact, I expended a breath there and then I dropped and you notice I just moved back into a different position. So in this exercise, what we're going to do is follow each other. The goal of this exercise, and in fact, we're going to do this exercise. We're going to just take the back of your hand, and you're just going to bend your knees. I'm going to tell you to go ahead and not bend your knees. You see how hard it is to follow somebody. And you're just no pressure hardly. There we go. And we're just going to, and nice and comfortable. Right? There you go. Breathe. Yeah. Find the spaces in here. I want you to always remember your breath and breathing. You notice that I'm keeping there's a space between us. There's a physical connection we have here. But he's just following. He's not trying to push too hard. Because as soon as he tries to push you, in this case, he started going back, I freed. I could literally do something at that point, right? So he's going back, bang, right? Because the connection went away, it got soft, and I'm free to do something. But the idea in this one is if we even relax more. There you go. Don't try to make big steps. Really small steps. That's it. Yeah, it's hard, right? Good. Nice recovery on that back. You notice you actually had to relax more, didn't you? Yeah. All right, so everybody come on, grab partner. Let's do this. I was just talking to somebody about connection. Lots of sports. Go ahead. Yep, just grab a partner. All right. Lots of sports have a physical connection to them. Dance, physical connection. I don't push that person around the floor. They feel where I'm going really slightly, and they adjust, just like what we were just doing. This is what's going on right here. They feel it, and they adjust to it. That's what we're doing in fighting. The difference is, in fighting, we don't have that physical connection. But we can create a connection. And that's what we're trying to do. So the first exercise is hand on the back of each other. Bend your knees, because if you don't bend your knees, you can't do this. And I just want each of you pick who's the leader. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I want to see that one. Only for 10 minutes, though. 10 minutes. All right. Yeah, so watch how large your steps are. Because you take a large step, it is very hard to recover mid-step. So your steps should be very small and very smooth. Let your opponent know if you think they got a little soft or maybe they're putting too much pressure at certain points. Smaller steps. And you'll find that when you see it, those smaller steps allow you to adjust a little faster. Nice job. Good. Very nice. How do you guys feel over here? You see that you can easily follow each other, right? Okay?
Although I want to take a beat. Okay.
All right, go ahead and switch. Go ahead. So, how are you feeling? Yeah, you get tired in the legs, and we haven't really done much, have we?
Nope.
All right, switch. Yeah, well, there you go. If you're having difficulties in this exercise, just slow it down for the person that's having trouble. This goal isn't to beat them here. The goal is to create that connection and stay perfect with your opponent. It's tiring, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
All right, good. Yeah, I saw you get a little fast. Yeah, oh, you took control. All right. Yeah, it's hard not to want to take control, isn't it? Right? So we had a great class the other day on lead follow, right? So this is a big piece about that. So in all of this, you notice how a number of people, William didn't get tired because he does this all the time, but you notice how some people got tired. Again, you have to find your breath and when to have it. These legs are going to get tired, but just breathe, relax. This is, the more tension you add inside your body, the harder you have to change it to do something different. Can't be tensionless, but you can't have the higher the tension, the longer it takes to change, right? And the harder it is to move with people. The second piece that I saw a couple of people do is I'm going to step when he's stepping. If I make a big step, when can I change? Only when that foot lands, right? What happens if they doesn't go that far back? Can I change mid? Very difficult. So now all of a sudden you got that dance doesn't look good, right? So be careful. These feet are sliding along the ground, right? You're just balls of the feet sliding along the ground. Okay, because anytime here, there's little feet here, I could stop, I can go. If I'm doing this long of a step, that's a very, depending on how fast that opponent's moving, I can change very fast because now I can go the other way, right? But if I'm like, oh, now I can go the other way. That's hard. So watch how big your steps are. Watch how high your steps are sometimes. You probably keep your feet a little closer to that ground, okay? All right, so we kind of did that. In this exercise, we're just going to want same partners. Want one person on this side, one person on this side. Right there, good. Yep, you guys partner up over here. All right, in this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to start very slowly.
We're all over the place.
I know, what are you guys doing? There you go. So we're going to start very slowly on this. So I'll start with Carl here. Here I am. This time, we're going to get a little closer. The longer you are away from somebody, sometimes the harder it is to see or feel connected to your opponent. We're going to start right here. And when I move, I want him to move. And we're not even going to move our feet. Good. And we're going to start really slow. There we go. Good. Yes. Good. Exactly. All right. Now you got the lead. Good. Look how small that connection point is. I want to go ahead and do this. The reason why we're doing this connection point really small and not moving our feet is because this is where it starts. They're shifting balances, and we have to be able to catch those shifts. Yeah. So now a good part in there is you're finding, well, maybe my feet have to adjust so I can shift this way. Good. Nicely done. Yep. Good. You guys go ahead and make the decision when you'd like to shift the lead. Okay. So a lot of people would think maybe this isn't rhythm, but you actually have some movement going here, right? And you're trying to find where it's comfortable, where you can do these movements, how to change them, because at certain ways you have to change them differently. Okay? The only difference is we're not moving our feet. But you notice this connection still had, right? It's very interesting when somebody mimics you. Good. And in dance, that's what we do. We feed off the other person. And we wait and do stuff. And in that, we want to feed off that other person all the time. We don't want breaks. You know, tempo changes can happen, but you want to make sure they're not sudden. In what we do, we want that action to happen more. We're going to get to that point, but everybody had done both people? You guys good down there? Did you do both people? All right. So this one, we're going to take this easiest one. You notice I apologize if I'm taking this one step at a time. But in this exercise, this time, that's all right, you mean you. Not hard to do at all. I'd love people to do this with moving their center or using the center to move their body, but right now you can walk, do whatever you want. As I walk at you, I just want you to, there we go. Same steps. You notice he's taking almost the same steps as me. Even when they're smaller, he's taking bigger. And then look, there you go. All right. So it's a really quick drill. I want you guys to do it a couple times, switch, and do it again. Good. That's it. Relax your body a little. There you go. Let it just feel the distance change between each other. Paul called this kind of the force between us. This is really a lot of this exercise comes from him. He did a really nice job with this exercise. Good. We're going to move sideways in a minute. All right. How's everybody feel? Little rough, right? There's, you notice at points you're kind of stuttering. That's when you're adding like your tension's getting caught somewhere. You really want to smooth those stutters out. So just watch. We're like in dance. It's all about being smooth, right? So if I can make an opponent stutter or find where they stutter, I have an opportunity. So be aware of that again. All right. This time we've done two things, right? This time I want you guys to spread out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is we're going to jump. I think all of you have done. We've got a small group. I think you're all done well. We're going to jump into a little deeper pool of this one. Usually I'll do these into the corners, side to side as well. Tracking is a really big one. Right here we are. We're just tracking each other. Because as soon as I can get outside, then I have opportunity, right? His sword or shield comes offline and I'm in line. But I did that with a little speed change. That's not part of this class, or not part of this yet. But in this one, we're just going to, so we do side to side. I could do core into the 45s. Okay. So be careful when you go into a 45. I'm going to just point this out. So as soon as we're square in front, you can see his feet, his hips are on me. As soon as I walk into this 45, you see how your hips are, you have to constantly keep changing them. Keep your hips on me. So you're doing 40. Think of your steps as a 45 step at body to body. There, it's a little different, isn't it? But now everything's here on me all the time. Okay, so this one's going to be a little free form. I want you to go ahead and do it super slow. Let your opponent work with you. Here I come. Then I change forward. Oh, look, I'm going back. Oh, nice. I'm going into that 45. If you have to help. Good. Now I'm going in that 45. So go ahead. We're going to go free form on this.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do the whole time.
Nice. Good work. That's better. That's better. Don't be afraid to cross your feet. You're far enough away. Crossing feet does not hurt. You can walk normally in this drill. Good. That's it. Good. Nice 45. That's it. Much better on your 45s. You see that? It's a real change, isn't it? You'll find that you love those 45s when you get them. There you go. Yes, there you go. Just pointing your finger. If your opponent's struggling, point your finger where you're going to go next. That way they have a little pre-understanding and they can still stay in flow. Very nice. Good. All right, everybody in. So this seems a little weird, right? I mean, there's nothing going on. You don't feel like there's fighting going on. All we're doing is playing a game of dance, right? What we're doing is actually, for a lot of people, most of the fight. When we were out fighting yesterday, right? We're just working, right? Look at every time he moves back, I'm on him. Look at it there. Here we are. And all of a sudden, right? I'm just feeling and moving with him, not getting him in many of these cases, not giving him an ability to breathe or relax. And while I'm flowing with him, I'm just breathing, you know? And then after a little bit, I can take control. You know, I know he's going to go that way because his essentially rhythm is taken that way. I could change the rhythm and take control. But you have to be able to do the first thing before you can just change rhythm constantly. Because I could be out here all day long and there's nothing developing between us. It's very hard to pull them into that rhythm and then take advantage of them, right? On the other side, it's like at any given time, he can throw something and you're not necessarily always ready for it. But if I'm in that same space, I have a good connection. We're building this connection, right? Right. You're building that connection, and earlier that you can see something developing like tension in your opponent's body. We were learning that here, and our next exercise is I want a little speed up and slow down, so we're going to change tempo in movement. The earlier you can recognize it, the faster you can either pull yourself away from it, create safety, mimic, and stay at that perfect range, or counter, right? If I know you're loading up, then I'm just going to step to this side, okay? Because you added tension in your body, I'm like, la, 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 okay? So this time I want you to go ahead. We're going to do this. Watch. Here, it's the same thing. We're free form. I'm not going to start fast. I'm going to start slow. Good. And then I'm going to slow down again. That's it. Good. Oh, nice change. That's it. Don't worry if you get too far away. This is not a lose. We're doing stuff here. That's good. All right. So I want a little bit of tempo change. All right. You notice this is like the fight yesterday we had, right?
I don't want to think back about that.
But you're always just on the edge of something.
But it's also interesting. I mean, we're not super active.
No.
But you're so focused on that you tighten up and, you know,
yes, you forget to breathe. So, yes, you feel it in your shoulders, right? So now I want you guys to try that again, but I want you to just, in fact, the first time, what I want you to do is do this, and I'd like you just to count A, B, C, D, E, okay, and do that. Out loud. I used to make people tell me jokes. Go ahead, move, and... All right, now you're going to count. Give him some German stuff or Swedish stuff.
A, twee, drie, vier, vijf, zes, zeven, acht, negen, 10.
Okay, so do you notice that when you're doing that, what's happening? You're almost kind of like, I have to think of two things at a time, right? And now all of a sudden you're breathing and you're walking and you actually have to relax some, don't you?
I think that's a G, and I had to pause for
You did.
what the next letter was.
Exactly. But in all of that, you had to breathe, right? So everybody, if you want to just talk, so they're talking, who's getting tired and out of breath while doing this? There's a lot of tension between people, right? So the closer you get, there's more tension between us. But that's what we're reading in a fight. Okay? We're using that to read it. People adding or releasing tension. We're reading those things. But what happens is if we are so tense, we start tiring and then it becomes hard, right? So this time, what I'd like you two to do is the same thing I just did with them. I want you to count, like as you're doing this, go ahead and do it again. So he's just counting 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, whatever you have to do. But I want you to keep doing that and the movement between you. Okay? Now we're adding a mental piece with a physical piece. Not easy, by the way. You're going to find yourself at certain points. You're going to find yourself at certain points actually breaking down because you'll miss something in your brain. Your breath will get wrong.
Who's counting? The lead or the follow?
No, you were the lead. So go ahead and do the leads easier. The follower is actually a little harder on that one. Okay. All right. Let's see how these guys do. All right. That's fine. Smaller feet. All right, the other person now, if you haven't already done it. And then we're going to talk how that felt, because I'd like to know.
I'm trying to get her. Oh, okay.
Okay, everybody in. All right. So in that exercise, you notice that you're trying to find breaths so you can talk, right? So what's happening is sometimes this is that singer idea, right? We have to find the breaths in between, but we're also physically doing something. So we have to find that air to say numbers or letters or however we do. And you have to relax a little bit more, and that tension becomes a little less between, and now you're really just kind of keeping it at this really nice lower level tension, right? Did that help you at all on maybe breathing or tension level? Okay. It gives you something else to think about, doesn't it? It's like, I'm going to stand here and there's going to be tension between us. I got to do this thing perfectly. And now we get away from that. Because to tell you the truth, that tension restricts us from doing it better. Okay? While you add those things, now you're relaxing, you're not thinking about it as much. Now it's just feeling them come towards me. All right? So, in this drill, what we have found is that, we're finding some breath. We're finding that real tension between us, or now we're just looking at overall movement. If we single line focus on something, it becomes very hard, right? So we have to have a broader focus. And we're moving. So what we're going to add in this movement a little bit is I want everybody pick up a boffer sword. There's one over here. That's fine. All right. If you can't throw, then just do it with him. Okay. So in this exercise, the leader is going to throw at some point. Okay. So here I am. We shouldn't have to count, but if you find that you want to count, that's fine. But we're just going to, I'm leading, you're following. Yeah. Good. Now come on. You lead. After I follow, there you go. Good. You notice you're finding throws in that movement, aren't you? And you see how, yeah, exactly. So what's happening now is like I'm taking a step forward. That foot hits, your body hits. In his case, he was coming across, and as that foot hit, he dropped into that leg. So in this exercise, we're going to back and forth it. Don't shoot right away. Back and forth it. Look at a point, especially if you can get to that place where you see them maybe lose the distance between you or fail at something like at the very beginning when I threw a shot, he had turned instead of kept doing a 45 with me. So that's why I threw. So look at that place where maybe they're starting to fail or stutter. Okay, let's go. Good. Okay. So you made 2 moves there. So that think of one movement in just flow. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
Broke the rhythm, man.
Good. Yep. Your brother rhythm just double-footed it a little bit. That was nice.
First time you cross is like, oh, he crosses his feet. As soon as you cross on the second one, I shot.
Uh-huh. That's good. Huh? No, we can get you working. Let's see if we can find a. Yeah, go ahead. So you're a little bit late, so we'll still go ahead and add you in. Just follow for now, and you'll start getting the pieces of it. Good. Okay, everybody in. All right. Okay. So in that exercise, what we were doing is we were finding opportunities. We're finding opportunities as we're following our opponents. You notice that it's so much easier to kind of flow and then bang, set up. You did a couple rhythm changes or tempo changes in there. You double footed it and then did something, right? You're now creating stuff out of that movement, especially you're noticing times when your opponent may be failing in their movement, right? It's like, okay, here we are. I stop, he stops, and bang. That's a rhythm change. Go ahead.
So a question about the tempo changes when we're trying to find that we'll call it a mistake in
Yeah.
following. Where is the line between using a tempo change to set up the shot and overextending using the tempo change and reaching?
The key is, the line is that you're doing it intentionally, right? If you're changing a speed without knowing it, then your opponent may see that you're not in full control. When we usually do that actually is when all of a sudden we change the speed of something when we want to chase something. I want to chase that shot. Now you are no longer in control.
So are you using the tempo change or direction change or something to elicit that mistake?
Exactly.
And then capitalize?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
All right. But again, you're finding a place to essentially break your opponent down. And that's what fighting is really all about. It's the sword shot itself is the very end. You know, the very end is hitting a person with a sword. The fight is everything that happens before. Okay? And that's movement, all of those things. That could just be us standing here, and that fight could be right here, and I'm just giving some head movement, and then all of a sudden I go over here because I already know that he did pick up the movement, but he over-exaggerated and gave me an opportunity. So, again, the end of the fight is we figure out what the weakness is, and then we throw. That's the end. Okay? All right. So in a lot of this, and we'll catch you up a little bit, in a lot of this is all about that perfect distance and that time. In the next one, and I'm going to show, here's some examples of some rhythm things. It's like, if he's coming at me, here I am. There, come on, he's really coming at me. And you notice I made him stop. I changed my rhythm essentially, and then he stopped, and then I went back into rhythm. Right? So if I want to get clear, you always want to keep away from me, right? So if I'm coming, look, I'm like, I want to get closer. How do I get closer, right? Keep away from me. Good. All of a sudden, what happened there? I stopped or slowed way down, and they're like, oh, I can slow down. And then I change. We do this all the time. The problem is a lot of times we don't recognize it. Okay? All right. So in the next drill here, you notice we're building a fight. In the next drill, I want you to just follow each other the same way. And this time I want you to look at a position, right? I want you to look, and the other person is going to tell it where you're going to throw. And then you just go right back into your rhythm. So what we're learning in this one is recognition early, right? And then how to get back into flow. Because a lot of times we'll recognize something and we'll stop. And then you got to get started again, and that's where we get killed. Okay? So, and that goes a long way to, could even be this. He throws something, bang, just barely touches me, and I think, was that good? I am stopped. Right? That is the most dangerous time. So it's when this kinds of things you have to learn to have is bang, right back to rhythm, get far enough away, says, I think that was light. Okay? And right back into rhythm again. We want to get out and in. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to work on constantly getting in rhythm, changing rhythm, getting back into rhythm, changing rhythm. Okay? All right. Let's do the first one. Okay? That one, again, is you're not throwing. You're just giving them where you're thinking where a throw that you want to throw. And they're going to tell you. If they don't recognize it very well, give it a bigger angle, a bigger movement so they can recognize it better. Yep, you're just stay with him, stay perfect distance away. Good. So you're gonna fake a throw. You're gonna say where that throw was good before you and pause even if you have to, and he's gonna tell you where you were throwing. Yep, keep going right back into rhythm. Okay, that's fine. I would have called a thrust to the face too. Okay, keep going, right back into rhythm. Good, nice flow right there. That's good. Good. A little slow.
Even that, I still feel it. Want to do the block.
You want to do the block before you can say it, don't you? It's actually easier. A lot of times you just point where you're actually getting hit. The processing to actually do voice takes longer in your head.
Yeah, that's why there's a couple of
just point. Yep. And that's fine.
Some of that's also habit because mine fencing is like you hit me here, I'll just tap.
Just tap it. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I also find Brannos
what's that?
Pressure.
Yeah.
The way you teach pressure is making him feel that pressure where I'm throwing the shot.
Exactly. Good.
Give me just a straight drop.
Guillaume, how you guys doing over there? Yeah.
One piece was recognizing the shot.
Uh-huh.
The other part was I was exaggerating the shot more to make it more clear to be able to make sure we were getting back to the rhythm.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So this time, as you go back, and that's perfect. If you find that you can just give it like, here we are moving, tiny movement, and see, make the movement smaller now. All right. For all of you, I want to make those movements smaller. So, I am going to, let me borrow that sword. William. Here I am. I'm moving. Just call, yeah, exactly. I'm moving. Good. And he's just using his finger because what's happening is he's recognized it very early. To actually communicate it, it takes longer to process in your brain. So sometimes just pointing is much faster. Okay. So this time, you notice I'm following, here I am. I'm following you, right? Where was I throwing?
You're throwing
yeah, exactly. We want to recognize those tiny movements or the tiny threats earlier. The earlier we recognize something your opponent's doing, They're more defensive, more opportunities you get later. All right, so let's try it. Really small ones. Keep moving. Right back into rhythm when you're done. There you go. Even smaller now. Very good. Yes.
Up on there. Get away.
Very nice. Good. How you guys doing? There we are. Keep moving. Good. Okay. That's it. Right back in the movement. Keep moving. You stop, you're dead. I don't care if you cross your feet while you're doing stuff. Yep. All right, everybody in. I'm trying to run these through pretty fast for everybody, but I want to point something out that what I actually saw while all this was going is that I noticed that a lot of you aren't as tired anymore and you're doing the same thing, if not more. Right? Yep. So you're starting to learn to relax inside of that. And more you relax, more you can see.
What's happening for me is my attention is moving up to here, not my legs.
Exactly.
I have to think about what's going on. It's a bit like the number count. So now it's the gray matter, and I got feedback from Guillaume that sometimes I didn't call the shot, but my body reacted.
Exactly.
So training's coming through. But yeah, you forget about the tired legs.
And no matter what, we still have to strengthen stuff. We can strengthen while doing these. You're strengthening all through this exercise. But what now? You're moving. You have some rhythm going. You're moving around, but you're always thinking, right? And you can see more instead of, oh, I got to step, I got to think. All of a sudden you're separating. All those thought patterns are slowing your processing down. In this, all of a sudden, you're right. It all became about, I'm looking for this thing. I'm looking for this thing. And that's a fight.
I felt very much like the movement and the measure went to automatic pilot and soft focus on just trying to pick up movement and the intent from my opponent through that process.
Right. So
rolling straight through it.
Exactly. So we made that connection, right? You made this connection and now I'm good. This connection is good. I'm just I'm holding on with this invisible string, right? So what's happening is you can move to a different place. And because now you're just thinking about what's changing, you freed up all of that other, you're still walking around, you're still moving, you're still sliding, you're still reacting to the distance. And that's a super important part of fighting, isn't it? Okay. All right. So in this exercise, what I want to do is we're going to have an opponent or a partner. I'm not going to pick on you because you're still working on some movement stuff. But so I'm going to get in movement. We're pretty much using pretty soft rhythm here. We added some tempo or speed changes and things like that, but he can pretty much follow. Right? So now we're gonna change the rhythm. So I did something there that put me into a different place or a different rhythm for a second, and then I can go back. So, and as soon as you do that, I recognize that I was way outside your foot over here and there was opportunity. Don't need to do anything. I just have to recognize there's opportunity. If all of a sudden he just bailed when I went like this, then then I'd be like, nah, maybe no opportunity, right? But the hard part is that change, because a lot of times we just want to stay here, and at some point I go over here and he just throws because he knows I'm going that way, right? Then I want to change. I get back. There we go. See, now I get distance change. But I want you to add a change and then go back into movement. All right? And see if you can break what your opponent does. Big piece is, I don't want to break too. Everyone wants it. It's very easy to break backwards. If you do break backwards, what I want to see every time, and this is very difficult, is bang, if I break backwards, this foot is creating a U. So we are literally going back, over, back in. Anytime you get a break, I want you back into their corner, either way. But we got to get back in. But if I can also break, so, then I get over here. I just just double-footed it. I changed my movement. Before, I was essentially just traveling. Hey! Then I changed that step, and then I can get back in. But that put me on a side. So I want to see those quick changes. Okay? One person makes a good quick change. Talk about it for a second. The other person gets rhythm, works. Do not do this fast. Don't like, okay, here I am. Don't forget the rhythm you had. I want 3, 4, 5 steps or more, and then make that change. Okay? No need for throwing on this one, but you can still hold your swords. Come on. So you see he traveled with you a little bit, right? You didn't get him moving in one way. Good rhythm. Now change. Right. There you go. Those changes have to be sudden. Okay? You're going to be the change guy. So I'm following you. Good. Nice cover. Good. That was very good. Now make sure you turn and roll back in on that. So you see how you went off this way? So now you're at some point, I don't care.
Yeah.
So why don't you go this way and then circle? Do the same thing. Same thing you did. Don't stop. Circle. Circle me. Make me do stuff. Good. Yes, that's it. Yeah. See, you stop for a second.
Yeah, I pitched myself.
Uh-huh.
I stopped.
So don't worry about it. Say that you stop. Now I got to flow. I got to do it again. And don't dwell on the stop as a failure. It's just something we have to work through. Good. Good. See? Yes, yeah. Just keep that connection now, right? Keep that connection. There we go. See, we have to go back into that connection again. So that's what's happening between us yesterday, right?
Yeah. Well.
and that it's a very interesting place. It's like, okay, I change, distance opens, I got to get back into that connection. Okay? All right. Everybody get a chance? All right, come on in. So, again, in this exercise, these are very fast changes that can be done. So, we are not in a hurry. We can walk around. I can push on corners all the time. Here we are. We're walking around. Then I just make some changes here and there. Now, by doing this, he's not sure when I'm coming in. Now he's not sure those corners. I'm breaking down a mindset to make sure they're not sure of what is going on. The more you can do that, the more you can pull them into a pattern and then break that pattern. Now they're like, ooh, what's going on? Okay? So that's what you guys are essentially doing. Be careful of just holding a constant rhythm for too long. You want to add those corners here and there just to see if there's weaknesses and also to break them down mentally on the follow. Go ahead.
So I feel like a lot of what we've done for breaking rhythm here is with our feet and with
Yeah.
Is there ways we can use our other equipment to break rhythm?
So, and that's a great question, right? The question was, we use a lot of feet to break rhythm, and I tend to do that because I use a lot of footwork. But, I did an exercise yesterday, I think it was with you, where I said go straight. No, I don't think it was with you. So, come on over here. Here's a break of rhythm with head movement. Okay? You're just going to same thing. You're just following and see, we know how to do this really well now. He can keep away from me super good, right? So watch this. I'm moving forward. So in that case, I'm still walking forward. All I'm doing is looking on either side. In his head, what's happening is I'm moving this way. So he's like, and then those steps start getting.
Chris, so one of the things I know I've seen you do many times in the past is make an audible exhale.
Yeah.
Enough to just kind of pause your opponent. Would that be a way that you can break the tempo as well?
Yeah, and there's a couple sneaky things on that, right? I could keep you in this really hard you know, this constant place, right? Right? And then what I did is I relaxed. I was in rhythm here, and I create more tension by giving them a little bit more tension. And then I relax, but I throw. What's happening is he automatically relaxed. He thought it was done. So we're creating an opportunity that way. The exhale piece is here I am. Sometimes I'm like, hey! All right, I had a lot of tension there, didn't I? Okay? What's also happening when I exhale like that? All the bad air goes out. Not just small amounts, everything goes out. So I have to take a breath. It's 4. Okay. All right. So, again, there's a lot of this. If you're just standing around, you're missing an opportunity. In rhythm, you get all these, look at all those opportunities you got. Also, you notice that those connections with your opponent really develop, don't they? Now you have to go out there and do that in helmet. If you have to do it one step at a time, do it one step at a time. Don't rush out there and try to kill your opponent. Go out there, try to move and flow with your opponent first and see how that works. Okay? And then start looking for opportunities while you're flowing with your opponent. And then give them a change, right? All of those things. We just learned them, right? So try that in armor, actively thinking about those things. All right? Hopefully everybody had a good time. 4, thank you very much. Hopefully everybody gets a little bit out of these drills. It's good to start from the very beginning. It really doesn't matter for who. I do this stuff all the time with everybody because it helps me stay in connection with people and learn connection, right? You can do it while you're fighting, and then this just rolls right up. So give it a try. Let me know how it goes. And we got a little bit of time to still do stuff. Let me know how it goes out in the field if you get a chance to try it later, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. Sometimes it slows the connection down, and then it'll pop back. See, it says slow connection, and then